For 2 years now, we've been able to blissfully ignore the giant elephant in the room, student loans. But that's all about to end in May when the long appreciated moratorium ends. You know the stats, 45 million Americans have a student loan. The average monthly student loan payment is $400 a month. Now, we already are reeling from the loss of our COVID stimulus checks and the loss of the monthly child tax credit. And now many of you are going to have to start budgeting for a monthly student loan payment. It's a nightmare. And honestly, the whole thing just really pisses me off. Students, you borrow too much. You didn't take the time to measure the actual cost of your loan against your future income and really take into consideration the amount of debt that you were taking on. Universities, you got greedy. There was an unlimited supply of capital for people to pay for your services, and you took advantage of it. Since 1995, your tuition and fees it doubled after we account for inflation. And you, the federal government, you engaged in predatory lending, the same type of predatory lending that got banks in trouble with the subprime mortgage crisis. You allowed teenagers, before they were legally able to buy beer, to sign off on ridiculous amounts of debt with no assets, no income, and absolutely no actual checks and balances on what they were using the money for. And to top it off, you designed it to where they can't even be forgiven through the bankruptcy process. And don't tell me that this was a competitive market, because the federal government was in the financial aid office on every single campus out there. This was a monopoly to the highest degree. It all makes me angry. And I know some of you are angry too. Some of you are saying, look, I did it right. Why do I have to bail everybody else out? I get it. I went to a reasonably priced college. I got scholarships. I had loans. I paid them off. I am in your shoes. But that doesn't change the fact that economically, we are going to have to do something. Every month, $18 billion is paid to student loans, or will be in May when the rest of them start back up. That's $18 billion that's not spent on goods and services, homes, cars, savings. That is $18 billion that is taken from our economy and just sent directly to a loan servicer, most of which is the federal government. We say back in 2008 that the banks were too big to fail, yet that bailout program was only $700 billion. Student loans today are $1.7 trillion. Talk about too big to fail. Now, I know there's a lot of talk about forgiveness, and personally, I don't think forgiveness is the solution. First off, it can't be allocated equitably or fairly. It actually tends to favor the higher income earners. It also doesn't solve the problem at all for current students. Flat out forgiveness is not a good solution. I actually somewhat agree with Elizabeth Warren on this. That was hard to say, but she's right in this instance. We need to be looking at the interest on the loans. It's estimated that about every payment that's made is about 1/3 interest. And if you look at some of the interest rates on loans, they're super high, especially in today's interest rate environment. Loans from back in 2010, 2011, those were hitting 8% interest rates. It's not right. And it's something we can do and we can address to help our loan holders. So here's my suggestion. We've been in this 0% interest rate environment. Unfortunately, people haven't taken advantage of it, but let's keep the 0%, but require a minimum payment. The first time a payment is missed, send the borrower back up to their original interest rate. Maybe even we build in successive increases. Maybe in a year it goes up to 1%, or in 2 years it goes up to 1%. What we're trying to do is to motivate our buyers or our borrowers to pay back their loan now. Get them motivated to get the loan paid off sooner rather than later. And you reward the good behavior. You reward those who start making payments and never stop. This can also be a solution that is used for those who are currently in school. The same idea. When you graduate, it's 0%. As long as you never miss a payment, it's 0%. Or maybe after 3 years, it increases to 1%. Whatever it is, motivate them to pay the debt off early. And it does hold the borrowers accountable for how much they actually took out. If someone took out an unreasonable amount of student debt, they should be responsible for that. But we can help them by providing reasonable interest rates. This is a fiery topic. And I know there's a ton of different opinions on it. I would love to hear yours. I'm just saying there's going to have to be some type of relief, or we'll all pay, as much as I hate to say that. That's it for this week. This is Jeannie, the 401k lady.